Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. As always, it is Nick here, back to your daily crypto news and analysis. And today, we're going to be talking about Xinfin Network, aka XDC, so let's just dive in and let's start off with the overall price. So, I'm looking at XDC over here, and honestly, I'm on the 3-day span here. Even if we go to the 1-day span, RSI barely looks like it started to flinch. I would argue that we are about to see a lot more negative price action. Why am I looking at it like this? Well, let's go and look at the weekly here. So the weekly, and I'll share why I have Ethereum over here as well and all that kind of stuff. But on the weekly, we're seeing diminished volume. We've been seeing diminished volume since going all the way back to August. That's right, August, the week of August 8th. We have been trailing against EMAs, and now we are under all EMAs. And as you do see on two weekly candles, hitting the same exact resistance point at about 3 cents, almost 3 cents. I would not even buy this resistance up here. I would even buy at around like 2.5 cents because this is significant resistance. I am looking at buying within this range down here at around like roughly, I mean, like, again, this top one is 2.5. From the top of this candle body to where we are at 2.5, it's a 7% difference. I mean, at that point, minimal difference. I'm more so looking at coming down lower. I think some of this area in between like 2.5 and 2 cents is not too bad to average into, but I do think that this is going to go lower, and I think that we will most likely see below 2 cents being retested again. One thing that I would love to note, and one thing that I think that everyone should prepare for, is a possible retest, and I say possible retest, of this demand zone on the weekly down here at between a 0.5 cent to 0.75 cents. This would be a massive opportunity. I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen. I'm just saying it is a possibility. I'm also looking at a possible retest of resistance on these two candles back here from August. This is on the 3-day span, by the way. This would be about a difference of where we are currently at to this resistance zone down here. This would be about a difference of 94.4% to about 97%. Reverse fib scale. So we can kind of go off of the candlestick. We'll go off of the candlestick from the summertime and really kind of look at where we currently are at. I do have to change it from log based back to normal. So 1 second, let me get this on accurately, and let's go to log scale. So here we have a few levels to look at in terms of where we are, really kind of, targeting. I would say the 1618, the reverse 1618 is great. Some of these other levels are not too bad either. I'm more so looking at like almost 1 cent. It's a fraction of a 1 cent, and then just slightly under 1 cent within a possibility of testing that 0.5 cent, almost 0.5 cent area. And, if we're looking at the macro chart, we can check out the overall macro chart. I'm kind of going off of more price data than what we do see down here. Like, I'm not going off that candle wick. This is on the macro fib scale. So on the macro fib scale, we still have a few levels that I feel confident in buying at over on the left. So under where we are currently trading at, we already kind of tested this fib level down here at about like the 382. What we would be more so looking at is some of these lower targets, and we could even go back to a normal fib scale on this as well and really kind of look at the targets in between and see what is really going on here, and address where we are at. So again, I mean, on this one, fib levels are a little bit different. Let me check out the so yeah, that doesn't really change too much. So yeah, I mean, to me personally, it looks like we will see within there's a ton of areas within this price data. It's almost like a like a fraction of a cent. I'll say a half a cent, exact, to about 1 cent, which is, again, minimal difference technically speaking, but I just feel confident in a few of these levels. More so, I feel confident buying at 1 cent. And is this a possibility? Is this going to happen? Well, we don't know if anything's guaranteed, but I will say this: the overall RSI looks pretty. It looks pretty good. Like we're looking like we're gonna come back down. Overall on balance volume diminishing, which tells me that this is going to see a significant drop. I would argue that I am preparing to see a retest of those candlesticks back here in 2021, which would be a retest of roughly 2 cents. And then after that, we see if we're going to break and create a new lower low going off of this December 6th 3-day candle. And then what we do is really kind of just target this 1 cent zone down here. So that is what I'm watching for. So far, the price action has not been great on XDC. Like, I wouldn't even say that the price action looks bullish until we break over the 53-day EMA. Now, why do I have Ethereum on the right? Well, the reason why I have Ethereum on the right is because I'm using a little bit of a difference on just where we were at back here in the past cycle. So in 2017, 2018, going into the bear market of 2018, we came down about 94.25%. Just to give you guys a quick insight, about like 94% would bring us down to that 1 cent zone. And I think that this could be a perfect bottom scenario for XDC. We don't need to go down even lower. Is this a possibility? The only reason why I have this being a possibility is because of how much demand is there. But I would argue that we could actually flip resistance back into support, and we could see a major push from there on out. The good news about this, we always look for good within these scenarios, not so much center on the negative, is that when we go and push back up, going into the next major cycle run, well, we could target the 1618, which would be about a 110x move. The greatest thing about this is that the market cap of XDC at about $1.20, I think, is right around roughly, it's anywhere between, like, I think it might be like 13 billion. I don't know the full supply that's out there. I think that it might be like around like 13 billion or something like that. I might be wrong. If you guys do want to correct me, go ahead down in the comments below. But I think that these levels up here are pretty substantial. I mean, like, even to the bare minimum all-time high recently would be a 17x. 43 cents, almost 44 cents, about a 40x. After that, about a 60x. And then, like I said, to that 1618, about, 110x or so. Going off of the non-fib scale basis, or on the log scale, I mean, sorry, our 4618, very common area to outreach to, about an 80x. I think that this is a great opportunity. I am going to look into XDC at this level, and I will be buying heavy if, and I say if, we see this, because anything is possible. But in my opinion, I think that this would be an incredible opportunity. Minimal downside from here. I mean, like, if we do come back down to test this range, which I think is unlikely, this would be about a 48% drop. So I wouldn't go massively heavy until we see a significant bounce off of this to confirm that this would be our bottom range. But I will, average in. I think that this is a great area to go slightly heavy, but again, just know that there is risk associated with it, meaning we could see a 48% drop on XDC from that level down to about a half a cent, which again, it would be about a 50% drop. But I'm looking at this and I'm watching this closely because we could see a bottom scenario at 94%, very similar to what we've seen on Ethereum in the past. Yeah, I'm also looking at Ethereum possibly coming down like 94%, 90% or so, like around this range of roughly like $300 to $500. Do we need to go all the way down to that level? No, not necessarily. I would say let's see what happens when we retest the summer low. And if we do retest that summer low, this would be about roughly an 82% drop. But got to remember that, You know, Ethereum is not going to drop the same way that it did in the past, and most altcoins don't need to drop 90+%, but we've already seen a 90% drop on XDC. I would be looking at this range down here to see if I could average in a little bit heavier to cover any buys I did have up here, which I did average in slightly on XDC up there nonetheless. But yes, I am watching XDC closely. I'm also watching the Bitcoin price chart for XDC. I think I shared in a video recently where I was talking about the support range for XDC. This is just in a sideways trade. I'm looking at this and I'm watching this one closely. The RSI doesn't look too bad on this. On the 1 week, it looks like we are seeing a cross, which crosses formations don't matter too much on RSI, like we've seen crosses in the past on XDC, which resulted in a nice price move. And again, there's not a common pattern here on XDC where we do see that cross on the RSI. But one thing that I will say is even on the lower time frames, like on the daily, right? RSI is not oversold yet. RSI is just beginning to trail down, which tells me that there's still more pain here on XDC after hitting, and I say after hitting, resistance. I mean, like, honestly, there's been quite a bit of resistance up within this level on XDC, and it has been a common area of resistance as well. But yeah, I'm looking at this closely. I'm watching this one closely. XDC has been on my watch list for a very long time, as you guys are probably all aware. You've watched my content on XDC, I'm sure, in the past, where I'm very bullish on the trade finance digitization move. I think that if we could see these levels on the XDC USD chart, then it will be very bullish for us long term, and I do think that these are going to be extreme wealth profit areas where we could create a ton of ROI, but we definitely have to watch this one closely. Do we have to go down massively on this price chart? Not necessarily, but I think that down here would be the perfect buy zone for a long-term hold. And yes, could we go down lower? We could go down 40+%, but that is the risk involved in crypto. I will be looking at this level, and I will share all my buy targets, all my buy orders in the Discord, as well as on Twitter for you guys. So definitely stay tuned for that. If we do see those levels, I will definitely put up an alert on TradingView as well as on my phone to make sure that I am ahead of the game on this buy zone if we do see it. But with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on if you guys have more free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord down in the description below. As always, up to you all. Have a beautiful day, beautiful night. If you guys are on this before, this has been Nick. Peace out, guys.